time for the nitty-gritty. Conversations be real live, it's time for the nitty-gritty. The revolution's not televised, it's time for the nitty-gritty. Reaching out to your conscious mind, it's time for the nitty-gritty. More than talking, you're taking action, it's time for the nitty-gritty.
Oh, y'all gonna stop talking? Y'all was having a good time. Let me mess up y'all groove, my bad.
Wait,
I should just let the thing roll.
I thought you were gonna play one. Oh, this is okay. This that we decided on? This is like to play, like, you know, some down, jazz, R&B. I'm not gonna listen to some 90s hot music. She was cute. She was. She's not bad. Yeah. She had chili, but she must have that swag. She had something about her. She was like, and her haircut was like the thing. Yeah. That was the thing. Yeah.
But they were their own individuals, you know? That's what made them so great. When they get crazy, sexy, cool, you knew who was crazy. You knew who was cool. And you knew who was sexy. That was their thing.
Y'all ready to roll? Alright, kick it off, Kat.
What's going on Facebook and IG? It's your girl Katniss, and I am here with two lovely guests today who will go ahead and introduce themselves. We are going to kick it off with the women's panel to start off our love series. So you can go ahead and tell the followers who you are,
Sure.
and maybe even talk about a little bit what you do. If you have any
Yeah.
IGs, you can share it.
Share my IGs. Oh, fun. Hi, everybody. My name's Simona. I'm a stylist at an Nevada salon in DC. I do hair and makeup. Hopefully it's obvious. I don't know. I'm like an outdoorsy person. I like to spend a lot of time outside. I like to promote Black wellness and love and togetherness. So I'm really excited to meet these wonderful ladies.
And you may recognize the face over there on the right.
I'm back. So I'm Jonene. I was on a couple weeks ago. I am the owner of Forward Wellness, which is a holistic wellness company. And so my passions are fitness and nutrition, and health and overall wellness.
So yeah, we want to make sure that today is a very low-key, chill vibe. And today we're talking about Black love amongst women, our experiences with dating, and what we think. So I'll kick it off with the first question of how important is love to you? Define what is love and how important that is to you.
Would you like to
Sure, I'll go. So first I'll define love. And from my perspective, love is a full giving of oneself to another. It doesn't necessarily have to be between a man and a woman, but whenever you are willing to give fully of yourself to another person, to me that is love. And you know, in a relationship, I think it's of utmost importance.
Yeah. I like that. So I asked her to go first because I'm a little jaded. I'm not gonna deny. So for me, love has taken a second step down to, well, probably third, to respect and trust. So respect has become first because first of all, I can't be with somebody that I don't respect. Then secondly, trust to me, you can love somebody and not trust or respect them, and then you can't be with them. Mm-hmm. So I put those two above love because I feel like love, you know, is fleeting. It comes and it goes, but that's just me being jaded.
and that's why I think that for me, love is not an emotion. It's not a feeling. Love is an action, right? Because love is fleeting, and so I feel like a lot of times, and we can just go there. I feel like a lot of times, especially me being older, when I was younger and I would watch movies or I would see people in relationships, in my mind, love and dating was roses and cupcakes and being happy all the time, right, and the whole pomp and circumstance of just being in this, honeymoon phase of relationships. And then I realized, no, if you want to be married and take that covenant and that vow and stand there, to me, love is going the distance, loving that person in spite of how they're acting at the time, loving that person if they gain weight or lose weight, loving that person if they no longer have hair, if that person gets cancer and they look different. That's what love is. And I feel like oftentimes many people are not willing to go the distance when it comes to love?
It's hard. First of all, everybody's lazy. Everything, not everybody, but a lot of people, we're like falling into that trap of convenience. You know, everything we have is like so fast and it's so instant, and we can meet people online like it's nothing. So we feel like people they don't have the same value that they used to have. So once upon a time you would meet somebody, you would say, oh man, I'm going to date this person, and they would gain a little bit of weight. And you'd be like, it's okay, it's just a little bit of weight. Or something would happen to them and you stick it out. But now, they gain a little bit of weight, and you're like, ew, Instagram,
Right.
Facebook. All right, bye. You know, there's like, it's instant gratification to find something else.
So let me ask you guys this. Have you guys tried any dating apps? I have, and I would like to ask you guys and also see
Oh my
your
goodness.
opinion. Have you tried any dating apps?
I'm the worst with them. So I've tried. Every time I try one, I try for like 2 weeks, and I'm like, this is so stupid. I want to meet somebody organically. I keep meeting these people on these apps, but all they want to do is hook up. This is dumb. So I had Tinder, because everybody talks about Tinder. I had Tinder for like 30 days, and I'm like, this is so much fun. Well, he's cute. Right swipe, right swipe. Swipe, swipe, swipe. And then it was like, okay, nothing's really going to come from this. Everybody asks you the same questions. Oh, you're so pretty, or oh, we should hang out, blah, 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 just stupid stuff. And then you feel like, for me, I felt like we're just my representative to your representative, like, where are we really going to go with that? So it's not a thing that I like. I'd rather meet somebody.
What do you think?
Yeah, I've tried a lot of them, I guess I should say, over the years. And my experience is the same. And so, I mean, every now and then I would say I meet somebody that's kind of normal. But most of the time, people are just strange. Like, it's socially awkward. It's almost like, you know, you go on there and it's like these people have to use that in order to meet somebody because they don't know how to approach a person in real life or in person. So I don't know. I don't know. I guess, I mean, it can happen. It can happen, but
like legitimately, the best experiences just happen
organically.
They're organic.
How important to you, since you were talking about the whole swiping, and it sounds like people are really into looks, and I do believe that you should be somewhat attracted to that person.
Yeah.
But how important to you is one being attractive when considering them today? And has that changed over the years now that you're older?
It's gotten a little better. I'm a stylist, so we're a little vain. So it took, when I was younger, I was the worst. Like, I wouldn't even begin to talk to a guy that was under 5'11". Now I'm 4'11". But it was like, you're too short. But no, I've gotten better as I've gotten older. But like you said, you do have to be attracted to the person. The difference, I think, for me has been I have a more open mind into what is attractive, you know? Because some people are attractive and it's not necessarily physical. Like, they could look okay, but they have like the best personality and they know how to like put together the best dates, and you just have so much fun when you're hanging with them. Then all of a sudden this 6 or 7 that turned into a 10.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
I would say that I've never really been super into looks. I mean, I find people attractive, obviously, but that's never what causes me to be in a relationship with a person. So I'm a super sapiosexual. Like, so if we can't have a conversation that's meaningful, then I just don't want any parts of it.
That is so funny.
Yeah.
How important to you guys is talking about religion, kids? I guess the question is, it's a lot to unpack. So when you upon meeting someone, maybe by date 3, what are some key questions that you generally bring up or want to have knowledge about to determine if you want to continue on meeting that person?
For me, I mean, I just want to know what is it why are you dating? Like, what is it that you're trying to do? I mean, and I'm not necessarily pressing the person to like find out if they want to, you know, get married or whatever like that, but I just want to know, like, what's your goal? Like, what is it that you want to do? Like, why are you doing this? And that usually gets a good response. I mean, gets a response that I need in order to make future decisions on whether or not I want to keep dating them. Even if it's like being offended by it. Like, because some people are like, why are you moving so fast? Like, I just asked you what your goal.
Right.
Why are
Somebody
you
asked you that?
And you know what? And they're offended.
No, like that.
It's your answer. You're like, oh, okay.
All right.
Thank you. And so, yeah. that. I think for me, like, I'm more, like I said, I'm jaded. So I've been through a lot of stuff in like my dating life. So for me, I just kind of let people expose themselves. People talk about what they want to talk about. So when you're having these dates with people, you kind of just realize like, oh, he hasn't said anything of depth yet. I'm not going to talk to him. To me, I just make that, and it could be short-sighted. Maybe I'm shooting myself in the foot.
No, I think that's great.
But I feel like if I'm waiting to just see how you expose yourself. And if you're only talking about things that are shallow, I mean, cool, good for you. I know I can't live there with you. But if that's what makes your life great, live your life. You know?
It's funny you brought that up because I feel like dating in DC has been very interesting. I feel like a lot of people are big on the whole resume. You know, I make this kind of money, I work this kind of job, I have these many degrees, I have no kids, look at my body, I'm fly. And what I know to be true from the marriages that I've seen that are long lasting is that when it's all said and done, is this a quality individual?
Right.
Does this person seem like they'll be able to compromise? If this person has any, appearance of being selfish or into themselves, I don't know if they're going to be, a person that's going to, have any kind of substance to really go the long haul.
Right.
And I think it depends upon where you're at in your season when you go out on dates and what you're looking for. Because I hear a lot of females on social media, and I want you guys to chime in, but they're always like, there are no good dudes out here. All the dudes are the same, dating. And I know dating as a black woman is hard, but it's just crazy that you haven't met not one good dude, not one. So I'm just interested to know your perspective on that kind of commentary.
Man.
I think most of those women have just been hurt. And and they've taken their experience and applied it to every single man out there. And unfortunately, that's how a lot of people approach people in general.
That's true.
Like that's how people become racist. That's how people become, bigots or whatever.
Yeah.
But I don't agree with that. Just because I haven't found the guy that, I'm with and going to be with forever doesn't mean that I won't.
Right.
Just a matter of searching and finding.
For me, I'm gonna start off nice. Because I love. Because I'm a woman, so I can never be disrespectful to a woman.
Right.
I wish all women would adopt that. I know, I feel like we all have to bond together because it's us. And so I understand it. You heard things have happened to you, and we don't want that to happen to you. We're sorry it happened to you. We do want you to grow from it, but the growth is internal. So when women say that, the things that they're putting into the universe is giving them exactly what they're asking for. So when they're saying there are no good men out there, you're not going to encounter a good man because you put so much negativity and continuously spread it. How is anything positive going to come to you? I believe in that. I believe the universe gives you what you ask for. So when you encounter people that have hurt you so much, it is hard. It's hard to be like, man, why did this person do this to me? How is it that I'm always encountering this stuff? And you got to take a step back. And for me personally, I'm going to speak from my own self, as I had to look at decisions that I was making that was allowing me to encounter these people, that was allowing me to even let these people that close to my life to be in a position to hurt me. And it was stuff that I was doing. Things that I was saying maybe turning a blind eye to. Because I just wanted somebody next to me, or maybe not acknowledging, or maybe not pushing when I know I should have pushed, and I had to say, let me not do that. Let me take control of my love life, and let me say, okay, what is it that I want, and look for that. And since I've started doing that, I realized I don't encounter a lot of bad guys. I may date some guys that I know that I'm not going to be with, but I know that they're not a bad guy. It's just a guy that I don't want to be with, and that doesn't make you a bad guy. Because I had to change something in me. And I feel like it's hard for people to take that step back and look in the mirror. It is hard, but you got to do it. They're not all bad guys. There's a lot of good guys out there. They hurt too.
They are.
Yeah, no, there's definitely a lot of good guys. And I think everything in life happens when it's supposed to. Because in my 20s, I feel like I was really in the mindset of I got to get married because I was brought up in the church. And it was oh, you got to get married. And now that I am, in my 30s, I'm still not married, and a lot of my friends are, but I am definitely in this mindset of taking my time. Yes. I have seen a lot of marriages. I have seen a lot of people get married quickly, and I've seen a lot of people get divorced quickly.
Right.
And I've never been married, nor have I been divorced, so I don't really know. I really can't speak to that, but I know that when I say I do, I really want it to be forever. And I feel like it is perfectly okay to take an extra year to really figure things out, whether it be with counseling, whether it be really fine-tuning your communication. Because if you feel like something is just not right or not at the level that you would like, to me, that's okay to say, let's take a pause here before we decide to, you know, further our commitment to one another. Like, these are things I don't like and I would like for it to improve. And if it doesn't, you can make that choice. And I feel like a lot of times, at least for me in the church, when I communicate these things, well, first of all, people don't even ask me, and nor do I really communicate these things. That people just assume, when you get married.
Right.
It's like they literally make the purport that, you know, it is time for you to get married and you shouldn't be just dating for a long term. And I honestly, to all the church folks out there, I love y'all, but y'all have to stop doing that. Yeah, you have to stop doing that.
Right. Keep calm.
And I know, Jonene, I know you were kind of in the church too, so like that's just the culture. And it can be a bit overwhelming because it's like people are always trying to force marriage as the end all be all. And as a woman who's not married, it's almost like to some degree it comes across as though people feel you don't have any purpose, right?
Yeah, that's. I mean, I feel like people, because I grew up in the church too, and I feel like when you're in the church, you become a part of a certain community, and in that community, it's very structured. You know, a lot of people really dwell on the Bible, and they're like, okay, you're living your life. And a man needs a wife and a rib and all this other stuff. And then you get married and then you have kids and then everything is okay. But that's not real life, you know? That was once upon a time. There were probably like, I don't want to say 5 people on the planet, but maybe 5 people on the planet. Whereas now it's like so many people on the planet. You have so much new technology. You have so many things to just take in as an individual. Like, how can you make that decision? Like, I'm about to get married, I'm about to be with this person forever, quickly. Like, have we even found ourselves yet? You know what I mean? Like, we're not in those ages where, you know, people are having full-blown families at 19. That's like so far ago. Like, everybody's having kids much later now. First of all, we broke. It's married.
Kids are expensive.
And then you are there comments? Because let us know there are comments. But go ahead.
I was gonna say, a friend of mine just said she has a little baby and she's about to put him in childcare, and she says $400 a week.
A week?
Right. That's too much. I'm sorry. They're 52 weeks in the year. That is way too much.
That's a lot of money. And do you feel? Do you feel that before having a child, it is important to assess your financial situation?
Absolutely.
I mean, I know a lot of people don't plan that way. People kind of, it happens by happenstance. You know, I become a mom and I just dealt with it, or I became a dad, I just dealt with it.
Yeah.
But do you think that the family structure could be different if people were to perhaps plan, right? Because if you're assessing your finances, maybe you wouldn't have 3, maybe you would have stopped at 2. But I mean, who am I to tell somebody what they should or shouldn't do? Just making that suggestion.
I mean, you just look at the statistics. Most of the people that are getting divorced, they make under a certain amount of money collectively as a unit. So money, regardless of how you feel, that emotional, oh, we're in love, we're going to have a kid. Regardless of that, like, the reality is when you don't make a certain amount of money and you're struggling to make ends meet, it's harder on a couple.
It's stress.
It's stress. If you and your spouse are both like individually stressed out about money, how are you going to be happy with each other when you just got this big dark cloud of finances hanging over your head? So if it's something that you can like at least have a grip on or plan ahead before, why not? I would say why not?
So is that a criteria of yours when you're dating?
Yeah. Like I said, I'm a stylist.
So
you like nice things,
right?
Like, everyone laughs at me because I'm like, you guys, I need a nanny. I personally need a nanny, so I know if I have a kid, me and my kid need a nanny. It sounds crazy, but like I know it. Like my lifestyle, like we're so busy, like we work so many hours, and when we're working, we're there, we're moving about the whole time. And when we come home, we're like wiped out, like completely wiped out. I need help. How am I gonna get this help if we can't afford it? You know, you want to live in a city, you can't get home and you got dogs and you got kids, you got to pay daycare, you got to pay dog walkers, you got to pay all this stuff. You have to make the money to do it. Like I think they said the income in DC, if you want to live and be like content, is a minimum of like $109K or something crazy like that. And think about it. Think about the cost of the rent. Think about the cost of transportation, think about the cost of food. And that's as one person. So yeah, finances need to be planned out. Not saying everybody gotta be balling. We not all.
Well, I think for me, I prefer someone that's at least self-sufficient, or I can tell they're smart enough where they're gifted enough to have multiple streams of income. Because sometimes I feel like with men, you can tell that God has a purpose and a plan for their life, and you're not exactly sure which way they're going in, but you know that like you can kind of help some guys, you know, not all guys, but I feel like when two are joined together, I feel like there are some women that God put in their life that help that man go to the next level.
Yes.
And I feel like you ever see them stories where some ex-baby mom was like, when he was with me, he wasn't balling, but then all of a sudden he get with this girl and he's just like taking off. I think sometimes it has something to do with that other individual that kind of helps push that person to their max potential.
100%.
And then therefore the income is birthed, because that woman in his life is not looking at, oh, I want your money. It's more so I want you to live in purpose, and I'm going to push you into your purpose, and from your purpose births more income.
I mean, you got to think about like the type of personality that's going to be able to deal with a busy man, because your man that's making the money is busy.
He's gonna be,
That's true. So if you're a needy girl, that may not be what.
It's a hard balance. It's a hard balance. Like I can be needy, I can be clingy, but I'm not needy and clingy all the time, because I know when I'm at work, my phone is never around me. So if you expecting me to be texting you while I'm at work, I'm not. I love you dearly, bye. I'm at work. You at work. I'm not gonna bother you at work. I don't want you to bother me at work. Do your thing, make that money. I'll see you at home. Bye.
What are some turnoffs? Just like some deal breakers that you will absolutely not accept when it comes to considering someone to be a significant other.
I'll start with one. When I'm just piggyback. My first one is being like super controlling. I cannot. I'm not a controlling person, and I can't accept that over my life either.
Yeah. I can agree with that. I can agree with that a lot. You know, one thing that I've always found weird, because a lot of people have kids, because we're hitting those 30s, so most people have kids. For whatever reason, I don't like it when a guy doesn't talk about his kids. Granted, if we just start dating, I'm not about to meet your kids right now. But if like you really don't talk about them, I find that so weird. Like, how do you not talk about your kids? They're like your little mini-me's, like, and if I ask you about them, you have like 2 words for it. That's like the biggest turn off to me. Like, really? Do you see them? Do you hang out with them? You know what I mean? So I don't know. I don't like that.
I think for me a big turn off would be, I don't know why, but I really do not like people that smoke cigarettes or just or smoking.
Hello.
Like, I don't know what it is. I know out of all the ones that
like
one
all
was a deep.
smoking. Wait, all smoking? They can't smoke weed? I'm sorry.
Well, no, I'm not. No, I'm not
I can't do smoking.
Say whatever you want.
I'm not gonna say like Game of Jonene. I'm not gonna say you can't smoke weed, but for some reason, just smoking, period, just turns me off.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what it is. What weed, cigarettes, any kind of smoke turns me off, because I'm a huge proponent and advocate for dental hygiene.
Okay.
Teeth, breath, all that is important to me. Dental cleanings. Like if we talking and I'm like, it's just by happenstance we're talking, you're like, I know one guy I dated, for some reason he just had a certain BO that he couldn't get rid of, and then by happenstance we started talking, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm getting ready to go get my teeth cleaned. He was like, teeth cleaning, and he was asking like almost shocked. So I was like, when's the last time you had your dental cleaning? And he was like, oh, I don't know. It's been some time. I was like, oh no, next. Will not be putting my lips on your lips, because I do not know what kind of bacteria and fungus you have in that mouth of yours.
That's gross.
And I know that sounds bougie, but to me,
no.
I don't want nobody's mouth by my mouth or my body part. If you do not adequately have 2 dental cleanings per year, it is a deal breaker for me. I do not care if that sounds crazy. I'm not kissing nobody who don't get no dental cleanings.
Hygiene
period,
is like the first step to good health. If you do not have good hygiene, how in the hell do you think you're gonna have good health?
But there are some men who don't wipe their butt.
Gross.
Well, that's true.
And that bothers me.
Who they gonna be with?
But let's talk about that, because there are men who are mama's boys.
I'm sorry. If I'm doing laundry and there's shit in your drawer, first off, now I'm pissed off because we living together, and now I'm just finding out you don't wipe your ass. We having some conversations. Because that's disgusting.
That is.
That's disgusting.
But the thing is, if you're having are you having a conversation and you're hoping it's going to change, or is it in your mind is there we're having one conversation?
No, we're having one.
And immediately it must change.
If this does not change, and I continue to see this, guess who's not going to be in the house? Guess who's not going to be?
But why would you?
Not me.
See, I'm the kind of person where when I see that kind of level of disrespect of yourself, I don't want your body touching my body.
How you gonna respect me? Gonna respect you? First of all, before you can love and respect me, you gotta love and respect yourself. If you don't love and respect yourself enough to basic, like it's just basic thing. Wipe your ass.
That's it. Until you no longer see brown. White.
Come through.
And let's talk about it. My thing that also is a question mark for me is people who only wash with the loofahs. Where is your washcloth? Because how are you going to
I think that's cultural though. I think
But how they getting in the bag?
some other cultures that ain't us don't use washcloths. It was a whole episode on one show about that.
But you know what?
I'm sorry. How are we? Everybody has, you do the number 2 and you pee.
You gotta get there.
And if you're eating healthy, we know that sometimes the number 2 and you hydrate, and it's not gonna come out just hard. You're gonna have
Stuff.
What are you wiping your butt with? And it cannot be just tissue. It's gonna leave some kind of odor too.
She is killing.
Like what? Seriously, those are problems for me. Also, mama's boys. Like I know one guy. I went to his apartment and we were dating. And this ain't gonna make me sound so bougie. I'm so good.
Okay, girl.
I went to his apartment
Who
and
likes a mama's boy?
I went to his bathroom and I promise y'all, this man had a dark ring around his toilet. I'm talking about it like he ain't never washed his toilet ever. And we got to talking, and it's like his mama did all the things with him. I'm just like, I'm so turned off. And I asked him like, do you wash your toilet? Because these are things that I mean, I know I shouldn't say these things, but
why not?
If I'm dating you, because when I date with the intention of being serious and pursuing marriage. And if you have never been charged with or have any inkling of keeping a house clean, washing your toilet, washing your butt, paying bills, that's a huge concern for me, because in a house, I'm sorry, I can be aggressive. There's no way as a woman I can respect a man who don't know just simple necessities, the bare necessities of life, and know how to take care of them.
But even to the respect part, but beyond that, it's like, so if this man is used to his mama doing everything, when you come into his life, you think I'm about to be your mama? First of all, I want a nanny. So you think I don't want to clean and do all that stuff for me, that I'm gonna be doing this for you? No, you need to take some steps back. Let's talk about this. No, we're not even gonna talk about it. So like, I don't know. Like I said, I like to see where people are, what they want to do. So like, if I encounter somebody like that, I'll be like, oh, okay, this person may be cool to hang with if I feel like wasting time, but we're not gonna go anywhere. So it depends on how I'm feeling. I may hang with them again, I may not hang with them again. But yeah, mama's boys that legit just don't do anything, that's like a red flag. Like, I'm not about to be your mama.
What are other red flags? When you're dating, what are other red flags? Red flag for me are guys that get overly aggressive to the point when we're having a disagreement and you kind of walk up on me. It's like, wait a minute, you may be an abuser. So to me, that's a red flag.
Or if they're like, okay, so first date red flag. If they're like real disrespectful to the waitress or whatever, like, you know, I said this, or sit this back, I don't like this ain't cooked right.
No. It's so many. Like, I don't like that. Like, so for me, I've been in violent relationships, so anybody that remotely scares me, like that, walking up on me, oh, we're not even going to be cool anymore.
Yeah.
You walk up on me, all right, cool. Like, I have no more words for you because I'm not even going to begin to go down that road. Somebody that's rude to a server, same thing. I've been in customer service all my life. You can't be respectful to a server. They're just doing their job. No, I don't like that. You're not going to be a good representation of me. What else is it? This is a real shallow one.
Okay.
I can't stand when a man can't drive. This isn't a red flag, but I just do not like that. When you get in a car with a dude, if I feel like I gotta help you drive, but for me, I think about, like, as a kid, like, we put on a lot lot of road trips, and I loved it. You know, my dad would drive us everywhere. So like, my husband gonna be having to drive on the road. I love to drive, so I'm gonna help. But I can't sleep well with kids in the back, worried about you driving.
Yeah. Other red flags. Well, I guess I brought it up earlier, but religion would be a red flag for me. So if you are one of those deep brothers that, you know, you're so pro-black that you don't believe in Jesus and you believe in a higher power and you don't know if you believe in any kind of religion,
Yeah.
that's a red flag for me, because at the end of the day, I identify as being a Christian. It is very important to me. That is a non-negotiable for me.
Yeah.
And I'm the kind of person where there's no need to talk about it because I ain't going to argue with you.
Yeah.
You do you be spiritual on your own.
Yeah.
I'm going to follow the word of God, and that's done. There's no conversation needed.
I think for me,
IG
I
had a
don't mind
question for y'all.
spiritual.
Oh, IG questions. Okay.
I'll read it off to you.
Okay.
They wanted to know how important is money. Like, you know, like, is there a certain dollar amount that they should make? Is there like a cutoff? Is there like a point where y'all like, nah, bro, you just need to get your dollars up? Or maybe is there spending habits that might, I guess, go along with red flags?
Man, there's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot to that, because you could have a dude that make good money, but all he do is give it away. So what difference do it make that he make $200K, but then he go out every weekend spending $5,000 at the club? He basically don't make at the strip club. He basically don't make $200K. But then you could have a dude, maybe he make $80,000, but he take lunch from home. He don't spend money outside of what's going on at the house, and the household is taken care of. Granted, he only making $80,000, but most of it is actually in the house. So I think like spending habits are a big thing. If he actually makes money, and it's not just like him. Women have to do their part too. Like, so you can't be expecting a man to make $80,000 and you content with working a part-time job where all you do is bring in 15, 20K and that's it. And you looking for him to take care of you. That's not cool. But like, still, everybody has to make a certain amount and spend it right.
Yeah, my baseline is basically like you have to, at my age, I'm 38. So at my age, you have to
You
be
look good, girl.
Thank you. So at my age, it's like you gotta be living independently, like on your own, have your own place, pay your own bills, have your own car, have your own job.
Yeah.
And if you can do all that in this area, then I'm content with that. So I feel like if we come together and we both doing that, then we'll be alright.
Yeah, I don't have a set dollar amount because I kind of spoke about it before. I feel like it's an individual basis. It's basically the baseline is what Jonene just said. But if I feel like there's something in you, like, let's just use an example. Let's say, for instance, I meet somebody that has an amazing voice or they're an amazing writer. In my mind, and your dream is to one day be this big author or be a big, talent. In my mind, it's like, okay, not only can you take care of yourself when you have the baseline, but obviously God puts you a purpose in you, and I'm gonna help you, have that dream to fruition, and see it through, because then, from that, it's more income probably is gonna come more likely. Like, I just think that I can't look at life as you must make this money, because one thing about life is that nothing is guaranteed.
Ever.
And jobs come and go.
Yeah.
People die. I hate to say it that way, but that's the case. And so I feel like you have to look at each individual person, including yourself, and you have to ask the question, what do I love? What can I give this world? And do I have purpose in it? And does it not feel like work? And when you're able to do something that doesn't feel like work and get paid for it, then I feel like the amount of money is endless that could potentially come, because that means you're willing to work crazy hours but doesn't feel like work because it's what you love.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's
a good
my
question, though.
that's a good question. Another question. So how about these ladies that don't have these skills but think a man should do it all?
That was going back to what y'all was talking about earlier when that came up. It was, y'all talking about how y'all want men to know how to wash their clothes, do some basic skills.
So are we saying that women, are we, I guess the question is.
There's some women out there that don't have those basic skills, basically.
Well, I know, let's just talk about what we think a lot of men would like. A lot of men I know want a woman who can cook. They want a woman who at least can keep a house together. I know some men that want women to be a trophy wife. Like, when they go out, she needs to know how to put herself together and hold it together and body together.
Yeah.
So do you guys feel like gender roles are necessary? Are they a thing? What are your thoughts on gender roles and how that plays out as far as the expectation of you based upon your gender?
I think that, that just is something that you set for yourself, and then, you discuss with whoever you're with, like, I don't think that there is a such thing as gender roles anymore. except for the ones that we have put upon ourselves and the ones that are expected of from whoever we're with.
Right.
So like, you know, if a person that you're with has a gender role expectation of you cooking, but you ain't no cook and you don't like to cook and you ain't gonna cook, then you're probably not meant for that person.
Hello.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I can agree with that. Like, I feel like I feel like it's like the person's intent. Like maybe this woman doesn't know how to do all these things because nobody taught her. And there's two different women like that.
Mhm.
There's a woman where maybe somebody was trying to teach her, she just didn't care.
Mhm.
And she's just lazy. She's like, I'm not gonna cook, I'm not gonna do this, my man need to do this, my man need to do that. That's probably not an ideal person. She gotta step her game up. But then there's a person that nobody taught her, she just don't know. But if the person that she's with shows her, she's more than willing to do it because she feels like, okay, this is my contribution to our household. I don't mind learning how to cook. And maybe she's not cooking every day. Maybe she's cooking the days that she's off, and he's cooking the days that he's off. And it's like a teamwork thing, but maybe he had to help her to learn how to do it. I don't see anything wrong with like that side of it, and it really boils down to intent for me. If you just have that intention that your spouse is supposed to do one thing or the other, that's very limited because first of all, I'm not cooking. Can I cook? Sure. Do I enjoy it? No. Who likes food made with hate? You like food made with hate? Do you like food made with hate? That's a good way to put it. You put your wife into you like food. You know how you be seeing the little old ladies in the kitchen, they jamming to their music, they making their food. They be in love. They just in love with cooking. They seasoning it. They not measuring and that is not me. When I'm in the kitchen, I'm like, it's hot. Fine, right, get it done. I hate you for making me do this. Who want their food made with hate? But will I do it? Sure. If it's my night to cook, am I gonna cook? Sure. Am I happy about it? Hell no.
I think that in this day and age and in this area, it would be very difficult for people to subscribe themselves to gender role just because of how the hustle and bustle of the East Coast.
Right.
However, I feel like when you are dating, it is very important to communicate.
Yeah.
If you want a traditional, a stay-at-home wife, the husband goes to work, you make his lunch, and if y'all agree to that, cool.
Right.
Live your life that way. I actually have a coworker, or had a coworker, his husband was a stay-at-home dad, and he watched the kid and raised the babies, and she went to work and brought home the paycheck, and that worked great for them. But for me, what I think would be most comfortable for me and what my preference would be is to forget about gender roles and do what is necessary. What that means to Katrina is, if you come into the house and the trash needs to be taken out, I'm not going to wait until my husband needs to take it out. If I see it needs to go, it goes.
Yeah.
If you see that the kitchen is bare and you have extra time, take your tail to the grocery store and pick up some groceries. Everybody pitch in. If you a husband and I'm tired or I gotta work late, but we got a daughter that need some puffs in her head and she gotta go to work, I'm gonna show my husband what to do. Puff it up, send her to school. There's not gonna be no such thing as a woman do this and a man do that. Because I've heard some man. I watched Love and Marriage Huntsville, and one of the husbands in there pisses me off because he be, you know what I'm talking about, Marcel, and he be like, I don't know what to do with my kids. That's your seat. What you mean you don't know what to do with your kids? She nurtured. He don't want her to work. He barely didn't want her to get. Did you catch it last episode? He didn't want her to have a driver's license. He wants her to be at home and to sit there, raise the babies, feed the babies, cook the babies, and she desires to go to work, and he is adamant about this is not the plan, and that kind of marriage would not work for me. But I think that they must have not communicated thoroughly about, or she seemed also too like she may be a little submissive, and
I'm over here like, I'm appalled.
Well, there's a lot of women too that, and that's another thing about submission. What does that word mean to you? Because there are some women that I meet, and I feel like they take the word to the extreme, like, well, I must do this for my husband, and I must do that for my husband, and I feel like you have to be careful when your whole existence
is based on your husband.
Is based on what your husband wants. What do you want? How do you want to dress and look?
Before y'all jump into submission, you had comments from Facebook. Let me throw them out there for you.
Okay.
Marcia Hawkins.
Yes.
Miss Marvelous Marcia Hawkins says, hi, sister and cousin.
Hi,
Marcia.
And then she also said, her comment earlier was, I said he has to have equal or greater as to like what's the expectation comes from a man. Mm-hmm. She says, I think that is a realistic expectation for the man to have equal or greater than the woman.
Yeah, I would agree. Is there any more comments from Facebook?
That was the only one from Facebook.
We have a new setup here, guys. So normally we see our Facebook comments, but with our new setup, it doesn't come that way. So someone reads it to us. So bear with us. I forgot what was the question I just said.
Submission.
Submission, yes. What is your definition of submission, and do you think a woman should submit? This is gonna be good.
I already got comments all
You gotta ask it.
So,
You said what about the comments on Facebook?
you got Marcia said submission is subjective. There is no right or wrong way to do it.
I think submission is my exact same definition that I gave for love.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
and I feel like submission happens both ways.
Yeah.
But from a woman to a man and from a man to a woman.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like that.
I think submission is basically compromise, right? And I also think submission is denying your pride for the greater good of your family.
Yeah.
But the big B-U-T is that I am not submitting to someone who ain't my husband.
Okay.
That doesn't mean that I won't compromise with you, but I mean, I'm not about to be just going all over and beyond when we not married, you know. Some of these women be out here really just, you know, I gotta, you know, give all of myself, and you're not even married. And now when he decides to put a ring on it, then you may get an extra amount of submission, but until then, I will still be very much independent. Katrina, it doesn't mean I'm going to be difficult. It just means that I'm going to have some kind of boundaries so that we can, you know, create, this is where we're at and this is where we're going to go.
Yeah.
And I also feel like you can't submit to no fool.
No.
Absolutely.
But they're the main ones that ask you to submit.
Girl,
They be the main ones when they need to submit. What? Submit to what?
there are definitely some men
Hold on,
that,
your mama gotta come clean your toilet.
child, listen, do you know what 1 + 1 is? Submit to that first.
Okay. No, I think like, so for me, and this is like a weird term because we're like on relationships. For me, it like submission, the only time I really think about it is like sex. And that sounds, it's a weird place to take it, but I feel like in a relationship, you have to have a certain intimacy that you're able to submit to each other. So that's where submission comes in my mind. Outside of that, we're two individuals living our lives together. Submitting to what? What is the submission happening outside of that? Like, you know what I mean? Like, okay, compromise, sure, we can compromise, but who's submitting to who outside of, to me, in that intimate setting? I'm a very dominant person, so I'm not, it's, like I said, I like to debate. We can debate all the time. It's going to be really hard for me just to randomly submit to something. For what?
Well, I think too that why in society do we feel like the woman, that a man must be a leader and that he must make the decisions? In some households, the woman is just doing it. Like Mona Scott Young, she said in her household, you know, she's the main breadwinner and she runs things, and it works for her marriage. Like, what's wrong with that? And I feel like a lot of times you'll even hear some men tell that man, like, oh, you must be soft because your woman is the one running it. If that's what works for their relationship, why in society do we feel like we have to have an opinion on how someone else does it that may not be the traditional way?
Toxic masculinity.
That's
it has
true.
run rampant.
It has.
It's an epidemic.
What toxic masculinity is
It's a lot of the negative things that we talk about.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like for so long, like, men, not all men are bad. I'm gonna say that because I'm not trying to say like I'm, you know, everything is negative. But like, for a long time, the toxic man has been able to dictate what a relationship is supposed to look like, what a man is supposed to do, what a woman is supposed to do, how the kids are supposed to be raised, and like, that's not okay. We're in the process of changing the narrative, so that's maybe why we're all waiting a little bit later to get married, because we're changing a toxic narrative, and it's difficult because it runs so deeply through everything. Like why is it as a man, you see another man, his woman is running the household, she makes the money, and he's happy with it.
Right.
But your own toxic masculinity and insecurity says, oh, I got to take a jab at him. Why?
Right.
Why do you care?
Right.
What it make to you? What difference it make to you? What does it do for your household? What is it doing for your money? What is it doing for your love life? Nothing. The only thing it's feeding is their insecurity and their toxic masculinity.
Yeah, I had some more comments from Facebook too.
Okay.
Marcia over this.
Hey, sister.
So she said that submission looks different, and for every household, she said, I think you can find 5 married couples with 5 different definitions of submission. It looks different to each couple. What works for me may not work for you, and vice versa.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Come on, differences.
Yeah, no, there are a lot of toxic masculinity. My next question is, how important Is it for you to know the status of your significant other as far as if they have kids? How many kids can that person have? Are there rules to dating somebody that has children? Because as obviously the older we get, you know, the probability of someone having kids is going to increase.
Right.
Well, for me, I take each individual as they come. I mean, I don't think I have a blanket like rule statement.
Yeah.
Generally speaking, I guess I look more positively to people with no kids, just because it's not an issue, or like a minimum amount, like one. I look at the fact of how old are these kids. If they're younger or older, that makes me think differently. If they're girls or boys, that makes me think differently too, because sometimes daddies with their daughters is something else, you know. So I don't know. But yeah, I take each individual as they come. Like I don't. I'm really big on not generalizing, you know, situations and people.
Yeah. I've grown a lot.
Okay.
So I went from I wouldn't date anybody that had kids to I was open to it, and then I started dating people with kids, and I realized, oh, this can get really nutty. And so now I'm like, I think my max is like 2, and that, I don't know if that makes me a bad person, but I know for me, like, you got more than 2 kids, especially if it's like 3, 4, 5 baby mamas and stuff. Personally, I'm not equipped to deal with that.
Yeah, no, I understand. I would be completely transparent. I always was like, I would never date somebody with kids. You need to be single like me, because I always envision the life for myself of I meet this guy, you know, he meets me, we build together, and then I guess I kind of realized that at the age I'm at, here's the thing. I don't know if you guys agree with this theory, but I feel like if I were to have met my quote-unquote husband, I'm not married, but we're using hypothetical, in college, that kind of extreme standard would make sense.
Okay.
Right, because hopefully you don't have any kids, you don't have any kids. But now that I am kind of in my 30s, people have lived, it just seems like the probability of people having kids is higher. That doesn't mean that you can't meet somebody that doesn't have kids, but I don't want to limit my options.
Right.
Because that very well may be the man that God has for me. And that's just me. So I'm kind of like Jonene, where I just take it case by case. Yeah. But I do think the best time to meet a husband, I don't care what anybody says, is when you're in college. And I feel like if you don't meet your husband in college, you're going to have a tough time, girlfriend, trying to find your husband outside of the world. Kids. Do you guys agree with that statement?
I 100% agree with that. Yes.
I don't know. I didn't go to college, so I don't know. And maybe that's why I'm not married.
No, I wouldn't say that, but when I get someone saying, because people meet their husband in high school,
before all of the drama, before they date somebody that breaks their heart, they taking it out on you, before they have a chance to get in relationships with other people, before they have these kids, it's like before all of what the world puts on his shoulders comes to him. You get him at his like so maybe not college, but like those years, 18 to 22, like you find somebody that you really love and you build from that point and just stay together.
I was not ready to be with anybody forever then.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people aren't.
Yeah, a lot of people aren't.
I wasn't at all, and I thought I was. So I was like in these relationships thinking like, oh, this is going to be sustainable. And then like the me now looks back on me then like, ooh, you were tripping.
Alright, so the IG popping off. I knew it was
okay, so
I got you so that way you don't mess up your...
No, I can read it. So I don't agree. College. Okay, so I will speak from the reason why I said that. So college, let's just take it from, let's say for instance I went to an HBCU. To me, had I went to HBCU, I feel like college would be the best time to find a husband. The reason why is that would be the only time in life where I would be surrounded by, hopefully, more heterosexual male options that are college educated, which is my preference.
Right.
So for me, it seems like college would have been the ideal place and space to find my husband, because at that point in time, I don't really have much. He doesn't really have much. We can, get married and go together. But back to Jonene's point, after a person kind of has lived in the world, now you make your money, now you kind of have had your heart broken, you got these different standards. And I'm not saying people can't have that in college, but generally y'all don't have anything at all together, so it's no like expectation that he got to make $200,000 because you in college. We all broke together.
Right.
So it's just like this, you know, a simple thing. So I just feel like for me as a black woman, I think that this is my opinion and my experience that had I would have met somebody at I didn't go to an HBCU all 4 years, but had I would have met my husband in college, probably would have been different. Now that I'm older and I just kind of see how the world is with dating, for me, it is a lot out here. It's a lot going on, and I just don't have the time.
Yeah.
So y'all got a couple more comments for IG, and then I want to take it to the ladies. We got the Dream Sketcher. That's IG, you know, Gentle Giant. He said, "What if you don't go to college?" He said, "You don't know yourself." He doesn't know himself.
Yeah.
And then a true Scorpio. She said, "I don't agree with college either. Went to Catholic University. No one is ready to be married and be faithful in college." Gentle Giant came back in and said, "In your 20s, you barely know who you are. I think it's a false reality or a false expectation." Of course, you know, our IG always gives their opinion. That's why we love our...
Right, but living in DC where there's a high probability or high population of gay males, first of all, you know, let's start with if you desire to have somebody that's educated. That doesn't necessarily mean that you have to have like a JD or a PhD. But let's say, for instance, you just want somebody that you aspire to have a man that has at least a bachelor's. Right. Your probability, if you aspire to date a black man, your probability of finding that generally in that kind of form will be, in my opinion, college, as opposed to when you get into these silo sectors where maybe you're one of a few blacks, you know.
Yeah, you're not going to be anybody. But so, like, I can kind of speak on what you're saying, but in a different way.
Okay.
So, like, as people, just in general, we tend to, like what we see. So when you're in college, you have these massive amounts of people that are isolated to this one location. Mm-hmm. So it is easy to meet people because guess what? You're hanging out. You're social, you're going to classes, you're mingling, you're going to bump into somebody. When you move on into your later years, a lot of people meet and date from work. Not because that's why we work. We don't work to go find our boo.
But that's true.
But we're at work all the time,
mm-hmm.
and we like what we see on a regular basis. If you're not like hanging out and doing things like socially or dating apps, when are you going to meet somebody? Mm-hmm. When was the last time you just bumped into somebody at the grocery store? Crickets, right? So it's to me it's a numbers game. Yeah. So I think you're right in that aspect of when you're in college, it is a higher probability to meet somebody because you got all these people jam-packed in this one area at a given time, and they have clearly similar interests. If you pick the same school, if you're taking the same classes, like that. But then once you move on past that, like if you didn't go to college, where are you meeting somebody? Like me, I didn't go to college. I dated a couple people that I worked with. Was that the best idea? Some cases it wasn't that bad. Some it was like the worst thing ever. It was a dumb idea. But
you can meet people at the gym.
You can meet people at the gym, but do you want to meet people at the gym? I don't want to meet people at the gym.
Why don't you date somebody at the gym, Jonene?
At my gym where I work, I don't like dating somebody where I work because I work out so much. So no.
You want to run into
because if something doesn't happen, something doesn't work out, or he pisses me off or whatever, and I just don't want to be bothered with him no more. I got to see him every day. Just like at work. The gym is like work for me. I'm there.
So if we ain't meet him in college, we can't meet him at the gym, we ain't bumping into nobody at Target. Because what y'all men haven't realized, I don't know why. Women go to Target. So y'all gotta come to Target.
She's giving you the blueprint right now. She's saying if you meet by happenstance at 10 o'clock, ain't got nothing to do, don't go to Target. Don't get on your video game and don't go out with your boys. Go to Target. We in there. And you know what? She in there with her natural form too. No makeup, sweats. You can see how she really looks. So what's the comments now?
I got another one for you. He said, so this is Gentle Giant again, or the Dream Sketcher.
Okay.
He said, I think once you have established yourself, career, but not in college. And then also he said, you both should have grounding, have love of self, healed from whatever trauma before marriage.
I asked him where we meeting. Where did I meet you at?
Giant, we're waiting for you to respond back, bro. Where
we meet you at?
Where are we meeting you at? But
we established.
Where we meet you at? Yes, I agree with that. But I just think that. See, here's the thing about women too. I feel like it's crazy to me. Like back to your comment earlier, where women be like, "Oh, I want a man that has all this money," and they don't really bring that too. But then again, men do not have the same requirement that we have for money. So I feel like in college, you don't have anything. I don't have anything, and you don't have any kids, hopefully. I don't have any kids, hopefully. And we just out here just living life, figuring out on our own. And I feel like that's just the pure way to do it. You know, I don't want, I hate when I meet people and, well, I got a baby mama and baby mama drama, and then then people got the kids, and then people be hurt from past relationships, or I was engaged and now I'm not engaged, and then you gain some weight, or they got this. It just be a lot going on out here. And I, at this age, do not have the time for that kind of like foolishness. And you're right, people should be healed, but that's just not the reality.
I think like you got a point there, because like when you get older, you start having baggage, and so I think the type of people that we would be looking for are the people that know when to let the baggage go. You know,
or perfectly don't have none.
If you, I mean,
which is hard, right?
30 up,
And at this age, it's hard
right.
to find people that ain't carrying that around.
Yeah.
though.
So are you either carrying your baggage, or have you dropped that shit somewhere down the highway, and you be like, yeah, I had it, but I let that go. You know, but how many people are actually like that?
Because it's definitely a red flag. We didn't say this, but definitely a red flag when you meet a guy and he always brings up his ex.
Yes.
It's so annoying. My last ex, well, my ex did this. How about you go and be with your ex?
Right.
I don't want to hear about your ex no more. At the first couple of dates, that's cool, but even then it's a red flag, because it's like, why are you dating? You're obviously not over her. I don't care about my ex.
Yeah.
I don't care if he watches my podcast. I don't care nothing about that man, what he got going on, which is why it's weird for me too. Sidebar, when I see girls be like, oh, I can't stand him, he did this and this to me, but next thing you know, they be like, oh, I really miss him. Girl, bye. Bye. Yeah, obviously you didn't stand him that bad, because you're still talking about him.
I think it's a hurt thing too. Like, I think when guys do that, they're normally the ones that messed up, and so they hung up on their ex because their ex treated them well, and this other person not treating them well, and they messed it up. So they like cheating and stuff.
They want to get away.
You know.
And that's another thing. Okay, so back to the point about dating the man who got himself established. What I have known to be true in DC, these men that be like 38, 41, and never been married, out here just slanging it. No one has time for that. No one. And the men that still tells their F-boys, no one has time for your F-boy behavior. Okay?
No.
How about that?
I mean, unless you're trying to have fun. Fuck boys are good for fun.
Listen.
Oh, can I say that?
When it comes to
It's a grown folks.
when it comes to both men and women in these situationships, and they're like, oh, I'm just out here doing it, it's all lies. It's all lies, because that means, in my opinion, when you're just out here just giving your body, if you can share bodily fluids and have no questions or no emotional ties,
There's a problem.
you need to go and sit on someone's couch, because there's obviously something deeper that you're not talking about. Sharing bodily fluids and potentially putting yourself, make yourself susceptible to HIV and or some kind of STI is a serious thing.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be doing that with randoms or one night stand just for the feeling of busting a nut. There are toys for that, and there's your hand.
Absolutely.
So
Come through toys.
I believe in safe situations.
Back to what I was saying. Them F-boys be fun though. They be knowing where the hangout spots are. They know all the good spots to eat, the good places to shop. You can't keep
Oh,
them.
Gentle Giant is over here.
I can't.
Gentle Giant over here with these
No.
bullets. He talk about some. If neither of y'all have grounded, what's really marriage about, love or business? I say it's about both. Or fitting into a box. Oh, so IG just left because I think we're at 1 hour.
We're at an hour now. Yeah.
So, oh man, the ladies panel was kind of
so
so
have to have y'all back again.
hard until we're getting into the nitty gritty of it all. Well, we will end with our panel sharing. You can share your IG or your Facebook. People can follow you.
Yeah.
Where they can hit you up, stalk you, whatever it is they choose
Ask
to
you a
do.
question.
Yeah.
Maybe they come to your DM, girl. Bitch, you never know.
We meet it online.
Right. So where can they find you at?
Yeah, so I'll share my IG.
Okay.
It's Mrs. CEO, MRS CEO, the number 2 YOU.
Okay.
Mrs. CEO to you.
You can find me at Nacho Average Joe. That is not.yo.avg.jo, or at Fort Wellness.
And you guys know you can follow me at The Nitty Gritty Show on Instagram, which you probably are already following. And so we will leave with a good girls anthem to end today's panel.
Ooh.
I don't know if this is an official anthem.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Let's see.
What?
Oh, yo. Yeah.